Welcome. It's your boy Mike, and this is another edition of Raptors Weekly Podcast. Make sure you make sure you subscribe. Road to 500 subscribers. I want to get to 500 subscribers. I want to get to 1,000. Thank you for listening to the past one and the ones before that. I greatly appreciate it. I'm always going to appreciate it. Make sure you listen to this, anytime you really want to. You're working out at the gym. That'd be cool. I know I would listen to podcasts when I work out at the gym or, driving in your car. Just vibing. Listen to the podcast. Once again, I appreciate it. Road to 500 on the way. Let's keep it going. Today, of course, we're going to talk about the Raptors and everything that, comes with the Raptors. I will talk about a little bit NBA, mainly our Canadian content of Rj Barrett. I gotta talk about Rj Barrett because, I want him to be a superstar. I want him to be a superstar. Like I said, I'm just being biased because I am Canadian. So I want RJ to do well. It's one of those things. When you see somebody that comes from the same area as you just want them to succeed. And Canadians are like that with other Canadians. Now, but before I get to RJ Barrett, future Toronto Raptor, let's talk about the Toronto Raptors. Now we have the end of the Rico Hines runs. They're done. I'm not sure if there's going to be another video coming out, in the next couple of days. But from what I've seen, the last one, from what Rico said, this is our last run. To the point that even Pascal spoke. That was pretty cool. But in watching the Rico runs, we see the team of Pascal, Scotty, Gary Trent, who was their Coloco, and who was their fifth guy? I don't know. I feel like their fifth guy becomes interchangeable. Some of the players just come in. Chris Boucher, for the last run. But sometimes the runs just, of course, they're interchangeable. It's either sometimes you'll see a Fred on the squad or not. The best part of it is it builds so much team camaraderie. It's like they're becoming a team. They're becoming what we want to see. I don't know. I'm really liking it. Now, these runs, there's not really defense. There's no schemes. So it's different. You're going against guys who don't really play with each other. But the most recent game, they played against John Wall and Paul George, who are going to be on the same team. And yeah, I think they won one game, Paul George and John Wall. But the Raptors team normally beat them. I'm actually very happy to see John Wall play. Just hearing news about him, thinking about, suicide and going through depression. It's actually good to see him back on the court. It's also good just to see, Paul George on the court. We saw Justin Champagnie on the court. It's good to see players who either came from an injury or didn't have the best season because of whatever reason, come back on the court and watching them play. It makes you excited for this upcoming season. Now, I know for most Raptor fans, they're very excited for this upcoming season because of these Rico runs. We're seeing the development in Pascal's mid-range game. I think what I saw the most was Pascal's mid-range improve, the ball handling improve, taking guys one-on-one, asking for the contact, that consistency there. Like I said in my other video, the guys who are impressing me are like a DJ Wilson. Definitely impressing me. I'm honestly thinking that, if it's Banton and Champagnie, I think DJ Wilson's the fifth guy. I honestly do think so. From everything I've seen, I don't know. If he's your 15th guy, I don't think it's that bad. At the end of the day, a lot of people said, your 15th guy's not playing. So we don't really have to talk about it too much. Especially if you're winning games, your 15th guy's not playing. Unless it's end of the game, he's playing. Other than that, not really playing. Now, and Chris Boucher has really impressed me. And maybe just be these runs, and I've never seen Chris Boucher handle the ball as much or take it from one end of the court to the other. Now, these are not regular NBA size courts. They're not. They're much shorter. But just seeing Chris Boucher, handle the ball from one end to another, man, maybe I didn't know if Chris Boucher was going to add another part to his game. I thought he was just going to improve on what he already is, and I still think there's ways to improve even better to what you are to become a very, very solid role player who if you're consistent, be a role player, you're always going to get money. Look at PJ Tucker. The man got, like, I'm surprised at the fact that he got a 3-year contract right now, you know? But that's what you can do. Boucher's only 29, and his next contract could probably be 32. Like, he still has the ability to be that, you know, maybe a 7th, 8th guy on the team. And I like that. I think Chris Boucher, I think every player, honestly, on the Raptors is an X factor. I will talk about the importance of Chris Boucher eventually, but he's very important to the growth of this team. What we want to see from Chris Boucher is very, very important. But he's been very impressive in the Rico runs. You know, I think when Fred is on, you see Fred's can shoot from anywhere. He's always been impressive. We didn't see a lot of OG. I think OG only came one time. I always said the most interesting players are Jalen Harris and Malachi. For some reason, this offseason, I think they've been talked about more than any player, honestly. Like them and Pascal and a little bit of Scotty are the ones who've been spoken about. But in the sense of like what we want to see from them, Malachi's probably been spoken about so much. And I think in watching Malachi, I'm actually really rooting for Malachi. And watching these Rico runs, you know, even like the last video that came out, I'm thinking like, you know, I want to see Malachi like shoot more. Because I want to see because you score 70 points. Like what is it? Is it the competition? Is it the, you know, the belief in yourself? Like what is stopping you, right? And, you know, listening to other podcasts, you know, some people make good points about Malachi. He's not really given the opportunity. He wasn't really given the opportunity. I think now, like, let him be given the opportunity to excel and succeed. That's what we have to see. But at the end of the day, the Raptors are still, like, 9, 10 guys deep. Malachi may be the 11th guy. Because, to me, the Raptors are about 10 deep. I know people want to write off Kem, but I'm not writing off Kem. I think Kem is a solid backup big who can play 12 minutes to 15 minutes a game and still give you a lot, to be honest. He's the biggest, like, strength-wise guy on the team. So I think you're going to need him. So, but yeah, just watching Malachi during the runs, you know, unfortunately he's been the least impressive guy. Like, he really has. He's not, like I said, he's not shooting at the way we want to see. I want to see him drive to the basket better. The thing is, if you watch the Rico runs, which I've watched every single run, the court that Pascal's normally on, that's the winning court. So when you see Malachi and Malachi's team on the winning court, that means they won games. But when he faces the other Raptor guys, I don't see it. So I'm maybe that when he's on the other, like the losing side, as they say on Rico runs, maybe he's winning games. Maybe he's doing his thing. But I just know from what I've seen from Malachi, it's not a lot. It's not a lot. It kind of disappoints me because I really want him to be successful this season. Dalton Banton, to me, has still been pretty good. Like I said, the best player I've seen, besides Pascal or Scotty, has been DJ Wilson. DJ Wilson, Chris Boucher, consistency all around. It is sad to see these Rico runs go. I really enjoyed them. I really, really enjoyed them. It was fun. It was just a getaway from seeing basketball again. You know, we haven't seen the team play, and because of multiple Raptor players, it made it nicer to watch. You see all the Raptors bench coaches are like sitting down watching everything, seeing the progression. So it's nice. It's nice to watch them do all that. But yeah, I'm gonna miss the Rico runs. I don't know. Now they're probably gonna go on another vacation, and I think they said that, you know, people are gonna come back, and I think preseason starts end of September, so they're gonna have, you know, their beginning workouts, and I think the first day of talking to the media is September 26th. So that's going to be cool to see what everyone's growth and everything like that. Well, it was nice to actually see these Rico runs because it's always funny. They always had, like, the vets talk. I thought John Wall spoke, but the video I saw, I didn't see John Wall speak. Paul George spoke, and he said that thing that I'm going to get to right after I say this. But it was nice to finally see Pascal speak, you know. I think Rico's like, Pascal, you never talk, but now Pascal's your moment to talk. You can't keep, you just stay in the back and stay silent. And I see it. He wants to, you know, he wants everyone to know that he's there, but he doesn't want everyone to know that he's there. I think he wants to work on his craft and not be the spotlight. He just wants his game to speak for itself. And Pascal spoke. He spoke a little bit. He's not really a talker, as you can tell, or he can tell he gets a little shy when he knows the cameras are on. I think he speaks more when there's no cameras. But it was nice to see Pascal actually speak. It was nice to see him talk about his journey and everything like that. And the one thing that he said that it made me go like, man, I'm just gonna root for this guy so hard now. I'm not gonna lie. When he said, I'm not where I want to be yet, but I'm here working on it. And he didn't say those words exactly, but it's that framework that where he wants to be, he knows he's not there yet, but he's gonna keep working to get there. So he knows that he has to be, in some level, a Paul George, a Kawhi Leonard, a LeBron, and Jokic. He has to be the number one guy. He has to be that guy. Like, he has to be that guy night in and night out in order for his team to be successful, for himself to be successful. He needs to be that guy. Now, it may not happen forever because Scotty's coming. So when Scotty comes, he may change the way the team dynamic is and whatever. But I think this year and most likely next year, it's still going to be Pascal's team. I think probably the fourth year Scotty is going to start being his team. And it could still be both teams, but I'm talking about the guy who's, eventually Jaylen Brown had to kind of give the reins to Jason Tatum, and it had to be Jason Tatum's team. So it's one of those things that Pascal, as he gets older, is going to realize, it's going to be Scotty's team, which is not a bad thing. It's kind of what's just inevitable to happen. But seeing Pascal say what he said, seeing the growth of Pascal, seeing the journey that Pascal has been on, what he'll continue to be on, is someone you want to root for. As Raptor fans, is somebody that we want to generally engage more and more and see all the hard work he's been putting in. Because he has been putting some hard work, man. No doubt, Pascal has grown as a player. It's been consistent. So I think that's fun to see. I think it's really good to see. Seeing Pascal become this top-notch player that he's obviously knows he has to be. I think that's what makes it, why I appreciate it more and more. It's because I know Pascal wants to be that person. And seeing him want to be that person and seeing how hard he's working, how do you not want to root for that guy? It's like DeMar. DeMar was working hard. Everyone knows DeMar's work ethic. People talk about it. The man has still gotten better year by year. Those Spurs years, I think about all the time. I think if they won Game 7 against the Denver Nuggets, I think they would have made it to the conference finals. I think they would have beat Portland. I honestly do think so. I think with LaMarcus Aldridge and DeMar at that time, I think they would have beat Portland. They just couldn't get past Denver, and it's a whole thing. But I thought DeMar was really good even during the Spurs. Became even better with Chicago. So just people grow and they get better each year. And I think Pascal's one of those people. And hearing what he said during the Rico runs makes me feel even more better that this guy's going to take another step. I actually do believe he'll take another step. He may never be the superstar that you probably need to win the title. May not. Maybe it's not his journey. But I don't know, man. He's working hard enough to get there, and the one thing I can appreciate is that. And I hope Raptor fans can appreciate that too, because I think the people who dislike Pascal's game were non-Raptor fans. And I mean people in Toronto. People who didn't like Pascal's game are non-Raptor fans. One day I'm going to just make another video about Pascal saying, like, the reason why you guys don't like him is because of this. You don't like his game. People don't like his game. People diss Pascal a lot. They don't like his game. Like, I watched this podcast. I didn't want to name it yet until, like, I watch it more to realize, to understand if they understand ball. Because I think people do understand ball. But I was listening to a podcast, and they bring up Pascal and they bring up the Raptors, and they just say some things, and I'm thinking, like, are you, like, actually watching? Like, are you actually watching the game? I know a podcast mentioned that the Atlanta Hawks with DeJounte Murray are now better than the Raptors. How does that mathematically make sense? In a 7-game series, they would beat the Raptors. And I get it. I'm from Toronto, so I may have a bias. But come on. They won't. They wouldn't beat them. they wouldn't beat them. Yeah, they made it to the conference finals like 2 years ago. I didn't want to. I don't want to diss, but like, it was one of those times where the bracket fell nicely for you. But that Atlanta team wasn't like they were better than like. They're not better than the Boston team this year, or Milwaukee this year, or Philly this year. Like, you know what I'm saying? They're not better than a lot of teams. They're a good team, but they're not. I'm not penciling them in for better than the Raptors, right? So it's just things like that. But I think overall with Pascal, people just don't like the way his game is, right? He doesn't have a Brandon Ingram bag, right? I saw StatMuse posted who's better, BI or Pascal. Of course, people are gonna pick BI because his game is more. It's better to watch. Like, it's more flashy. It's just more. It's easier to watch. He has move sets. He can do certain things. Where Pascal doesn't really have a lot of moves. Like, he's not a splashy player. He's not fancy. He's not Kyrie. He's just like he's just a good general player, right? Now, who I pick, I like BI, to be honest. I do like the ability to be a scorer on all three levels. I think he is a better scorer on all three levels. Pascal's a better defender. Brandon Ingram has the intangibles that you're looking for in a star and a superstar. So that's why I understand why people pick BI over Pascal. But yeah, see, I went on a Pascal rant because I can honestly talk about this more and more because it's the fact that Pascal, to me, is always like, to me, he's just not liked. His game is not liked. So that's why people diss it. So it's really nice. Like I said, going back to the Rico runs, hearing him finally speak on not being where he wants to be. Now, like I said, I want to talk about Paul George. And Paul George's comments, which I believe I mentioned before in my other podcast that I want to mention again, him looking at the Raptors and saying, you guys better start well. I agree with that sentiment because everyone's there. And I know most teams they've been practicing now. Like, I don't know what happened in the NBA where after the offseason, they give themselves a month and they're back to practicing together. I think that's amazing because, once again, it builds a team. Like, it makes everyone work together, understand each other's, where everyone likes their spots and things like that. I think that's good, right? So seeing the whole Raptors squad besides a Fred or an OG is pretty good, right? Now, the podcast, journalism-ish version of me is like, why is OG not there, right? Brian Windhorst's voice, like why is that the case? Like, why? It seems kind of strange. I wish OG was there more because, I want the whole team to be on there. I know OG wants the ball more, so I want to see, OG, be there, right? Be there with your team. But I think that's just maybe not his personality. And he was there at the end of the day. Like, he has his own life. Who knows what he's doing, right? Like, I'm not judging the man at all. I'm just saying sometimes it would be nice to see overall. But even from Paul George saying that, this team should be off the gates running, I hate it and I love it. I hate it because I'm like, damn, he's right. He's right. Like, you guys are here every day, practicing together. You guys have an advantage over everybody right now because you're here together, learning plays, talking to each other, getting better, player development. This is why the player development is so good because besides, hey, if you want to join the Raptors, we're working all year round. There's no, we're working. We're trying to win titles here. It's hard to win titles. You live your personal life, but this is your job as well. I like that, actually, mentality. I think it's, in order to win a title, you got to work together. You got to be together. That's why I said it last pod. LeBron, when he wins titles, the man's with his team, 24/7. We need to work together. We need to go here, do this, do that. One reason why Miami was so good is because Kyle, did things with the team all the time. You needed that person that's going to always want to do stuff with the team. So it's good to see that, that's the good thing about what Paul George said. The bad thing is, man, so what if they don't start nice? Are we thinking that it's, what was the point of all this? And I think they start off kind of rough. I know they have Cleveland first. I think they have Cleveland and Brooklyn. It's going to be tough. And then I think they have a couple easy games, and then goes back to being kind of mid. Like, it's schedule could be a flippy floppy for them throughout the season, to be honest, it could be for anyone. I think this is the one year that we shouldn't be expecting some like multiple 50-win teams. We may expect some 49, 47s, 48s, and just really some of the games down the stretch are really going to mean a lot. That's how I see it. I think the league is so competitive now, and so there's a lot of good teams. I don't see that generally happen. But yeah, Paul George's quote just made me happy, but like sad at the same time, because I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. I want to say that good things are going to happen. They're going to start off well, and the camaraderie and the knowledge of each other's games, good things are going to come out of it. The rotations are going to go well. Being about 10-man deep is going to go well. The young players are going to play rest guys. I want to agree with all that. But like I said, it's one of the scariest things for, someone else to acknowledge the fact that, like, hey, you guys are ahead of everyone right now. So continuously be ahead. Eventually everyone catches up. That's all I'm saying. I'm a little terrified about that, but we'll see. We'll definitely see what they're going to do, because I don't know. It's what it is. Some other Raptor notes that we have is, I think my other thing went off. That's fine. That's all good. Now, the other thing to talk about is, I talked about Utah last, and it's funny. The moment I talk about him, the next day he gets signed by Brooklyn. Of course, I think it's a non-guarantee. It's a camp deal to see what he can do. Like I said before, Utah's good. He didn't do anything for the Raptors. Good vibes. He didn't do anything for the Raptors. Let's stop that. Sometimes Raptor fans are so cruel on like people like Fred and Pascal and sometimes even OG's gonna get it this year. Like OG's gonna be we loved you so much, but now we're gonna hate on you, right? It happens to players. Gary's gonna feel the same thing. It happened to Norm. That definitely happened to DeMar. JV. It happened to all these players, right? Because what happens is that you see other players like Precious and Scotty are gonna be loved this whole season. We're gonna want to see more from Precious and Scotty. We're gonna hate everything OG does. Everything Fred does. Like, those are the two hated ones. And then the loved ones are going to be Precious and Scotty, because we see the flashes and they're young. So we're going to like everything they do, right? So that's what's going to happen, more than likely. So with that being said, I'm happy for Utah. Hopefully he does well. Hopefully good things happen for him and his time there. So good on him. The next person is Svi. Svi got bought out. I think we all felt that was going to happen. No surprise here, Svi getting bought out. I think it was the inevitable. There was just too much guys that they wanted to play that Svi just couldn't. I don't think Svi was going to join the rotation, Their vision is coming, right? The vision is here. Not coming, it's here. The smallest guy is Fred and Gary Trent. Everyone else is pretty tall, like 6'5" and up. So everyone being 6'5" and up, and then you have guys who can shoot the ball in Otto Porter or OG, and they still got, of course, the two guys in Gary and Fred. Like, I think what this team has is a lot of quality players. You have Thad, who's gonna be the facilitator to get everyone organized. Be the vet, talk to Scotty, talk to everyone else to be like, hey, I've been in these pressure situations. This is how we should be more poised, blah, blah, blah. He's that guy. That's why I think you always need someone like that. I think you always need a vet to calm the room down. Always. Look at most championship teams had a vet, like a person who's been there for like more than 10 years to be like, hey, this is how we got to act. This is how we got to be during the trenches. That's what that is, right? So Svi wasn't going to cut up any of that stuff. And going back to Utah, or what I said about Utah, Svi is a product of discrimination in the sense, and I'm like, I smile, I say, like, in the sense of he's white and European. So, people automatically assumed he was a sniper. When you look at his stats, he's never been a sniper. But it sucks. When he played in the G League, the man was scoring 40. So he's good enough to not be in the G League. Honestly, he is. I think a team can utilize him. But if he's hitting threes, even the Raptors are going to miss him. Honestly, I know listening to a podcast, they had bets if he can, get 3 threes in a game, and he never reached it. That's unfortunate because that hurts, right? Because, if he was hitting threes for the Raptors, it would make things much easier. If you had someone who, if he was going 2 of 6 or 3 of 7 or 3 of 8, the 3 is still 9 points. That would help. It makes everything much easier, and it spaces the floor. It's good. It's good if he actually did what we were hoping for, but he didn't, right? I think he knows that he was gonna get bought out eventually, or waived, I should say. They have to eat the money. They have to eat the money, the 1.6. But to me, you eat it. Doesn't matter. Eat the money. It's 1.6. Better to have other guys on. Keep other guys that you want to keep. You just signed Koloku after so long. It's something that you want to do. It's something you definitely want to do. It's helpful. The team's only going to be better for it. Like I said, I like Svi. Thought it was good. Thought it was good for the team and everything like that. Now, like I said, he didn't do anything for the team though. He didn't make the team better. And what we're asking for everyone to do is make the team better, and he did not make the team better. So, as much as we want to wish that everything was okay, it's just not the case. He didn't play the way that we wanted to. He didn't play the way we envisioned him. So that's why he's gone. That's it. That's why Svi's gone. Congratulations to Koloku getting signed. I hope Svi, you're playing for the Ukraine national team with a heavy heart. I hope you and your team play well. But for the Raptors, he just wasn't the guy that we were envisioning for. I think I'm most likely going to do a video about the Raptors being in a tough spot. I was thinking about it the other day, and the tough spot that I believe that they're in is the expectation spot. Last year was not the year that they were supposed to be good. It was supposed to be this year, right? It was supposed to be this year that they improved. And I even had someone comment on one of my videos saying that this team can win 60 games. I am hearing people say they can win 52, 55. I don't know, man. The East is good. There's teams that are going to win a game. We can't beat Detroit. There's stats that I was listening to that, Raptors are normally, for any team below 500, the Raptors are almost 75%, 80% winning percentage. Last year, they were I think 50% winning percentage for teams below 500. You need to be about 70, 80%, to always hit the 50 win mark. Of course, they were very close this past year. If they just beat Detroit, they would have won 51 games. So I know it's possible, but I think with the Knicks getting better, because I'm going to talk about Rj Barrett, but I think the Knicks getting Jalen Brunson should be good. I think if they get Donovan, that's going to be a good team. That's going to be a good team. That Atlantic Division, I don't know. I don't know who's going to be the worst team. I don't know. It's actually, people may say it's the Raptors, but how bad, the Raptors are the worst team. Damn. That's 5 teams on that whole division that are just so good. Actually generally good. Now, like I said, but the tough spot they're in is luckily Scotty won Rookie of the Year, so Scotty's gonna improve, so it makes you kind of feel better. But what mode are you in? Where are you? Where are you in the path? And what makes it tough is that player development. You need the players to develop, so you need to play the minutes. You don't want to trade anyone. Raptors have always traded guys on their highest value. from Norm, Terrence Ross, even Jakob in some sense. Jakob got better, but he didn't get like crazy better. He's still the same player that like we thought he was. Great defender, great rim presence, like all those things were good. So it makes you just kind of go like, what shall we expect from this team? I find that the Raptors are a little bit in limbo. As much as some people don't want to admit, I think they're kind of in limbo. And that sucks, right? Because I think the limbo is because of expectations, nothing else. What you're expecting from the team makes them in limbo. I don't expect too much from the team, so I'm not really feeling that I'm in limbo with them. But I know a lot of people are feeling kind of like this team could be this, then that, and Scotty, Fred, Pascal, OG, like it's, Still, we don't know who is Nick gonna do the same five guys, because watching Gary Trent play, I'm like, man, I would like him to start sometimes. I would like him. I want all five to start. Everyone is starting, I think, should start. Right? I want Precious to start too. I said, if you ask me, I like basketball like being at its pure form. I like a center. So Precious can start at the 5. Something I think you start Ken Burke, start someone like the traditional big, and you work around that. That's how I see it too. So it's one of those things, right? Like, why play Embiid and let Pascal or OG or someone else go? No, you start Ken Burke. Let's not like play around. But you don't know how the team's gonna feel about that. You don't know how Gary technically in a contract year. But no one knows if Gary plays bad, he's going to re-sign. What the hell? He's not going to leave. And I know everyone's talking about Gary's contract. The next contract's going to be like $25 million. I don't see that happening. I think Gary's contract will be the same contract he has now. Probably $21 million at most. But you're not paying Gary $25 million. How much years? I know people can go like, it's a 4-year, $25 million. But like, I don't know. I don't know. What do you see in Gary Trent? That you would pay him 25. Like, to me, you pay someone 25 mil. This person has to be like your, third best player on your team. Not even third, like really second. So second and third best player this person has to be. That's just how it works to me. But yeah, I just think the Raptors are in limbo. I think we're not really talking about it. I think we're hiding from that fact that the Raptors are in limbo, but they are. They are in limbo. I will probably dive more into it eventually to say, like, they're on a tough road. It's really depending on where they want to go, but they're on a tough road. Some NBA news. Some Canadian content. Rj Barrett signs the rookie extension for $120 million. I hope he beats that contract. I hope that he'd probably be the one of the underpaid players in the league. I want RJ to be the best player in the league. Yes, because he's Canadian. Same way I wanted it for Wiggins. Kelly Olynyk. Probably not Kelly Olynyk, but yeah, like, I believe in RJ. I believe in RJ a lot. But the thing is, and the problem that I have is with, like, the Knicks. I wish they did trade him to Utah. Yeah, Utah's my second favorite team, so I'll give that. But also because I don't think they're doing RJ any justice. When you're the third overall pick, they should give you, like, more opportunity. Make you feel like, this team is going to be yours eventually. Right? Or you try to. Like, you try to see what they have. And I think RJ's too talented to just let him be a second or third fiddle. No, I think he's too talented. I think he could be a second best player on the team. I think he has potential to be a first best player. He does remind me a lot of, like, the Jaylen Brown of it all. A player who I would love to have on my team. If he's the first option, I don't hate if you put a lot of good players around them, but probably a better second option. Not everyone's a number one option, right? Some players, like, people are now talking about Bradley Beal being a third option. I don't think Bradley Beal's a third, but depending on the team, he could be a third. He could be a third option. If he was on, let's say, Milwaukee, I may want Chris Middleton to shoot more, Maybe, maybe not. I'm just saying, if he's on the Lakers, but these are, like, title contention teams, if he was on the Raptors, it's probably the C, because then eventually you want Scotty to be the second or first. You don't want to limit Pascal. Maybe Pascal has to be the second or third. It's just, maybe it's just a 2 thing you go with. But, in some cases, that person is not, they're not that number one. And I don't believe RJ doesn't have the ability to be number one. That's my thing. He has the ability. I want to see it come to something. But shout outs to him for getting the contract. I think the Knicks should do right by him, do right by that team. I honestly think, if this is NBA 2K, you can go preference 1, preference 2, preference 3 on who's the scoring option. For number one scoring option should be RJ. You see what you have. You're paying him this much money, just like you paid Randall. RJ's your number one option. Number 2 option is Julius Randle. And then number 3 is Jalen Brunson. That's fine. That's fine. I like it. I just think Randall's a better number 2, to be honest. He's a better number 2. But he's a really good number 2. Randall can still give you 20. I think Randall's actually good. I don't think he's better than Pascal. I think he's not better than Pascal. I think Randall can honestly still give you 24 points a game. His offensive game is really good. 24, 10, and 4, 5. I really do see that, But I want to see RJ, honestly, RJ can score 25 points a game. He really can. I want to see the 3-point shot get better. His driving at the basket, his ISO game to get better. And he's going to work hard. The one thing everyone knows about RJ, he's going to work hard. So I want to see that. Now, if you put Donovan there, it's we're stunting RJ's growth again. This is where I'm just trade him. Trade RJ if you're not going to appreciate what you have in them. He's young. RJ's young, 21. Let's see, even, just make it this year. This year, you see what you have in RJ. Right? Now, Donovan Mitchell, because of the poison pill now, they're not sure, how that's going to trade work, but it can still work. You have to probably give up Quentin Grimes, Obi Toppin, Fournier to, get closer to the salary, and then your draft picks. But then that's fine. If you're the Knicks, you're going to have Donovan, you're going to have Randall, you're going to have RJ, you're going to have Jalen Brunson. That's a nice team. You never know the way the brackets are going to fall. You never know. Maybe the only person in the East is better, but I'm saying the only person you really have, the 2 people, and I know the third person that people are going to be what about this guy? Okay, we all understand it now. It's Giannis and Jason Tatum. Those are the 2 guys that you're going to have to, go through if you're New York. And all you need is something, honestly, bad to happen to their teams for them not to make it. And then you're in. Or let them face each other. Maybe in the conference finals, you face a team that went through a 7-game series. You never know how the brackets end. Right? So I think those are the 2 guys. Now, people can say Kevin Durant, but let's just wait and see. They got swept by Boston. And Kyrie played the games. Yes, Ben Simmons didn't play, but okay. Boston was they lost in game 6 in the finals. And they got better. So I don't know why people keep talking about Brooklyn. I'm probably going to boost them too. I might act like it. But I think I'm going to be realistic with Brooklyn and be what if they're not good? They could be the worst team in the Atlantic Division, honestly speaking. We're counting so hard that Kyrie's going to, be at every game, and Ben Simmons is going to be great, and they have a great bench, which they do have a good bench. That, I understand it, but, until we can see it consistently, let's go from there. But that's it with my, Raptors Weekly NBA podcast overall. Tell me what you guys think. Comment below. Subscribe. Like I said, road to 500. Let's get it done. I believe in, what we're doing here. When the season comes, I know that things are going to keep growing. I love actually doing this. I used to do it back in the day, and I stopped, and I'm back at it again. I love talking ball. It's nice. I probably may do some football content just because I love football and like sports in general. So I may just start talking about them. Subscribe. Talk to you soon. Road to 500 on the way.